on the high plains of Wyoming, just shy of the Rocky Mountains. Wintertime is just about here. On a chilly night, we've got a rivalry game for you. They call it the Border War. Fort Collins, Colorado, Laramie, Wyoming, separated by just 67 miles. Colorado State and Wyoming, these two teams have been playing since 1899. Great traditions around this rivalry, including this one. The ROTCs of both schools participate. The ball started Wednesday night. They make that long, lonely run up the highway toward Laramie at the border of Colorado and Wyoming. The two head coaches are there. They exchange game balls. The official game ball makes its way here to Laramie, where we are ready to start the 111th edition of this great college football rivalry. Colorado State, the Rams, on the road to take on the Cowboys of Wyoming. Dave Fleming, Tom Ramsey, Paul Carcaterra with you here from War Memorial Stadium on senior night for Wyoming, where the Rams and the Cowboys, two teams in the Mountain West Mountain Division, will go head-to-head. A spirited rivalry, that's for sure. Wyoming won the toss. They defer. Colorado State is going to have the ball first, and a kick return with a big hit on special teams. The ball comes out on the very first play of the game. The Rams were there to recover it, though, and avoid an early game disaster. But big hitting has traditionally been a big part of this rivalry between Wyoming and Colorado State, and we started it off with a bang.
Well, Dave, no love lost between these two programs. However, the coaches get along wonderfully well. But I'll tell you what, they came to hit tonight, and that's just a jarring tackle. Ball comes out. Colorado State lucky to fall on top of it.
Dave Fleming, Tom Ramsey, great to have you with us. It's cold, it's dark. We're 7,200 feet above sea level, and we got a rivalry that's been played since the 19th century. It's a pretty cool setup here for this Mountain West game tonight.
It really is. The pageantry with the ROTC run, delivering the ball. Both head coaches get along well, but this game is very meaningful, and I think it's more meaningful for Wyoming because last year they were bowl eligible with 6 wins, Dave. I tell you what, they want more. They have 6 now. They want to add to it and make sure they get into the bowl season.
Yeah, the add-on to your point, last year they got to bowl eligibility and didn't get to a bowl.
Yeah.
They were left out. And I think they would be in danger of that again this year if they stayed on 6. Meanwhile, Colorado State, perhaps, well, the players, whether they are aware or cognizant of it, perhaps fighting for their head coach's life and job in Fort Collins. It has been a up and down year for the Rams, to say the least. And Colorado State hands the ball off on their first play from scrimmage. Marcus McElroy, the junior running back from Denver, with the first carry.
Well, and that's tough sledding right there if you're Colorado State trying to run against this run defense. They're one of the best in the country. Tell you what, they're not too far behind San Diego State in this conference. They actually allow less than 100 yards rushing per game.
Wyoming plays tough run defense. They run the ball on offense. They control the clock. They shorten the game. Seems like a good formula for playing football here in these kind of conditions. Another handoff. McElroy once again, and he got driven back after a gain of a couple of yards. Patrick O'Brien is the junior quarterback who took over. Colin Hill was injured early in the season, and Patrick O'Brien is getting his first extensive playing opportunity this year. Transfer from Nebraska, California native.
Dave, and you know, optimally, he would like to throw around 30 times a game. I think they're going to have to throw. I think they're going to have to throw upwards of 45 times tonight if they have a chance against Wyoming.
Well, you figure they'll have to throw here on 3rd and 7. A cold night in Laramie. O'Brien, who's got the big arm, finds his #1 target. That is Warren Jackson for the catch and the Colorado State first down. 17-yard gain. Very, very talented wide receiver. They have a tradition of that in Fort Collins. They've had a lot of great wide receivers these last few years. And we do welcome those of you who are joining us from Madison Square Garden in New York, a long way from Laramie, Wyoming. Dave Fleming, Tom Ramsey, Paul Carcaterra, late night here in the Rocky Mountains as Colorado State and Wyoming, the border war they call this rivalry. These two schools are separated by just 67 miles, Fort Collins and Laramie, Wyoming. And they usually play this time of year, late November. 15 degrees tonight, the official game time temperature. We could have some snow flurries. We're 7,200 feet above sea level, the highest elevation stadium in all of college football, and a rivalry that has been played for 111 meetings dating back to 1899. Wyoming's defense has been the bedrock of this Cowboys team this year, and Elijah Halliburton has had a great senior season.
Well, how appropriate. He's a leading tackler for this Wyoming Cowboy defense, Dave, and he comes right off the edge unblocked. And you know, it's going to be awfully tough sledding for Colorado State if you're trying to run the ball against this team. And we saw a moment ago Patrick O'Brien on 3rd down and 7. He found his man, Warren Jackson, and I expect him to try to go to Jackson again. Why not target your top receiver as many times as possible?
Jackson on the move, 3rd and 6 for the Rams of CSU, and they throw it behind Jackson. He was open, but not a great delivery from Patrick O'Brien, and so 4th down, we will have the first punt of the game.
And Mike Bobo talked about that, about Patrick O'Brien setting his feet, Dave, and he's accurate when he can set those feet and get the ball out on time. He didn't get set. The ball was drifting a little bit, and of course behind Jackson.
So the Rams will punt the ball away. They have a good punt unit, including their punter Ryan Stonehouse, who has one of the biggest legs in all of college football. Of course, punting tonight in the cold, that football could feel a little rock hard, I would imagine. Skies that one right at the 10. No fair catch signal. And maybe there should have been for the Cowboys. They're going to start inside their 10 after the 49-yard punt. Last week we were by the beach in San Diego. Cark after kick has had to be adjusted a little bit. We've bundled Paul Carcaterra up. Paul down on the sidelines here in Laramie.
Dave, we're not in San Diego anymore. 15 degrees on the field, and this is the border war. These two teams are 67 miles apart, and they do not like each other. I had a chance to speak with Ram quarterback Patrick O'Brien this week, and he mentioned to me this is a bitter rival. And last year they took offense when Wyoming celebrated on their field and mocked their cheer, proud to be a CSU Ram. They replaced proud with a not so nice word. And O'Brien is also aware of the fact that no senior on this team has beaten Wyoming.
That has been a theme. Thanks, Paul. Play fake. Wyoming throwing the ball on 1st down, which I don't think I expected, and they throw the ball effectively for a gain of 13 yards out to the 20-yard line. Tyler Vanderwall is the sophomore quarterback. They have had injuries. Wyoming has at the quarterback position, just like Colorado State. Sean Chambers out. Vanderwall has taken over. The numbers are modest, to say the least. 1 touchdown thrown, 3 interceptions thrown. But yeah, just to follow up on Cark's point, this CSU team under Mike Bobo has really struggled in their rivalry games. It's not just this one against Air Force, against CU. The Rams have not won in 11 straight rivalry games. They've lost 3 of these rivalry games in a row, and it means a lot to the CSU kids to break that streak.
It really does, Dave. And then, of course, they lost to Air Force last week, and Air Force is playing awfully good. They're 5-1 in the conference, and you know, possessions were at a premium a week ago, and even tonight with Wyoming able to run the ball as well as they do, I think every possession is just ever important for Colorado State.
And you want to know why the pressure is mounting on the head coach Mike Bobo? Well, I think that rivalry losing streak is a big reason why. Vanderwall under pressure, and he is going to go down. So he had a moment there, had nowhere to go with the football, takes the sack. It'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, we talked about 11 straight in the rivalry games. You mentioned it, how important they are, and you know, Wyoming takes this one awfully serious. It means everything. Craig Bowl told us yesterday coming into this game, and Mike Bobo, I mean, it's everything to them too. They just got to get on the winning side.
Fifth year for Mike Bobo as the head coach of the Rams. Craig Bowl in his 6th year at the helm of this Wyoming Cowboys program. 3rd and 8 for Vanderwall. He's got Xavier Valladay, who is not 100% healthy, but he is playing at the start of this game. Vanderwall zipped one in there and complete for a Wyoming 1st down. Nice catch from one of the seniors celebrating senior night tonight, Austin Conway.
Austin Conway coming out of that bunch formation to the wide side. He makes an awfully good catch on a cold night, and that's not great ball placement by Vanderwall, but really an exceptional catch by Conway. And think about this, Conway comes in as the leading receiver. That's his 18th catch of the year.
So you get the sense that Wyoming is not a team that's going to sling it around a lot.
Not really.
18 catches for their leading receiver. This is their 11th game of the season. Brett Brenton, redshirt freshman, is in the backfield. They fake the ball to him. Vanderwall looking downfield, and that pass is completed. Now there is a penalty flag thrown in the secondary as well. Rocket Ismail Jr. with the catch. So we'll see what the penalty is. Gain of 13 if the play stands.
Well, and Rocket Ismail got mugged on the play, and he still was able to run the route. So I believe the flag will be defensive pass interference. The back judge was the one that threw the flag.
So this Mountain West crew is talking it over. What feels like late season football more than the breath through the face mask, through the referee? It was 15 degrees at kickoff time. Current update, you want a temperature update while we wait for the word from our referee? It's 11 now.
Ah, yes. And dropping.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 on each team. Holding on the defense. That penalty will be declined. The result of the play was a completed pass. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 17. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. That's number 17's first unsportsmanlike of the game. First down.
So it negates the yardage of the gain. They will have a 1st and 10, but Rocket Ismail Jr. after the play, yeah, you can't do that. I mean, that's an easy call. It's not real. It's not a whole lot, but if you do it, you're going to get penalized.
Yeah, that's falls under taunting.
There's Dad, the original Rocket, one of the all-time great college football players. 1990 consensus All-American for Notre Dame, here with his heavy coat on in Laramie, watching his kid play on senior night. So the good and the bad. First down catch, but back it up inside the 20. Only 14 seconds left in the first quarter, so we'll see if Wyoming snaps the ball. Looks like they're going to run a play before the quarter comes to an end. It's a handoff. Valaday with a big hole straight up the middle. And the biggest gain by far on the ground comes on the final play of the first quarter. That is what Wyoming wants to do. They move the chains and will flip the field when we come back to Laramie. 0-0 in the border war. Great history, the border war rivalry between Colorado State and Wyoming going back to 1899. We don't have any footage from that game, but we do from 1948. The uniforms changed, the style of play over the years with the trick plays and everything that they pull out for the rivalry games. The playing conditions have changed dramatically game to game. The last time this rivalry was played here in Laramie, 2017, a real snowstorm in the second half. It was quite a scene. The bronze boot is the trophy. And Wyoming's won 3 of these in a row, trying to make it 4 straight on first down, first play of quarter number 2. That is Levi Williams, not Tyler Vanderwall. Levi Williams for one play, it looks like. That is the first snap of his college career. True freshman from outside of San Antonio, Texas. And we may see a little bit more. Yeah, I love the smile. Hey, yeah. He's played college football now.
That's right. Get in the game, take a hit, and now you're in the game. You're officially a Wyoming Cowboy. So good for him. And I expect to see, we'll see a little more of him tonight.
Game second down at 5. Halliday bounces it outside. His quarterback gives him a great block. And that springs him free for a big gain into Rams territory. What a nice block by Tyler Vanderwall. And it was a great run of 29 yards.
And Dave, you mentioned it earlier. Xavier Valaday is coming off 4 straight 100-yard plus games, and right here the quarterback Tyler Vanderwall gets a helpful block out in front. And you see Valaday, he's got a little limp. He got tackled last week against Utah State. He got a horse collar tackle, and he really kind of sprained his knee a little bit, but right there exploding through the hole, and a big game for the Cowboys.
You don't have to pancake anybody if you're the quarterback, and Vanderwall feeling frisky. Wow, he took a big hit at the end of that run. A shove came at the end of the play, and here comes a penalty flag in response to that. I think it was Devin Phillips who shoved a Wyoming player. I think that one will be a personal foul penalty against Colorado State.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 94 of the defense. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
So a costly penalty against CSU will move Wyoming deeper into Colorado State territory.
And you'd ask why? Why do you shuttle quarterbacks in and out, and especially play a true freshman in Levi Williams? Well, you know, he just has such an ability to run the ball, Dave. And
after reviewing the play, there was targeting by number 1 of the defense. That'll be half the distance to the goal. Number 1 will be disqualified from the game.
I don't think Jalen Bates even knew that's what they were looking at from his reaction.
Yeah, and Mike Bobo is a little bit in disbelief. You know, it's such a quick play, Dave, and while it's not one of those plays that happen in the open field, this one is when a player's spinning down. But Bates did the one thing they say in the rule book, dropping the helmet and hitting the player above the shoulder pad, neck area, helmet area with the crown of your helmet. That's going to draw the flag.
So now the ball should be moved even closer to the goal line. You had the dead ball personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Now you review and the targeting happens. Bates is gone for the rest of the game, plus another penalty. So because we do half the distance, a 14-yard penalty, then a 7-yard penalty, and it's going to be first and goal for Wyoming. So they got everything sorted out, and that's exactly where they put the ball. Wow. Cowboys having a pretty good opportunity here to score the first points of this border war game. And that is Tyler Vanderwall under center with Xavier Valladay, the lone tailback. They're going to give it to Valladay straight ahead. Valladay inside the 5 down to the 2.5. He's second and goal.
Well, they're going to wear down this defensive line if Colorado State keeps. Watch the guard, center and guard. They double team the nose tackle, Dave, and it just clears out everything for Valladay, who just hustles right in behind Patrick Arnold, and Keegan Kreider, the center, really playing well. One of the top players in the Mountain West Conference. He's just grading out so well after every game.
10th play of this drive, and it's second and goal. Valladay again, the tailback. He gets the ball. Valladay gets hit, driving forward. Did not get there. No, he did not. Had some extra effort. Jamal Hicks came in, and I think he made the initial hit on the tailback. Third and goal.
Yeah, that offensive line. Mentioned Zach Watts coming back in. Number 65, Alonzo Velasquez, the right tackle, 78. They've both been out with injuries. That offensive line, and really led by the center, Kreider, 73. He's the one making all the calls. He's the quarterback at the line of scrimmage.
And they have Jeff Burrows, who's sort of a fullback tailback hybrid, but it's Vanderwall, the quarterback, who surges ahead. Touchdown, Wyoming. Tyler Vanderwall, the first points of this Border War 2019 go to the Cowboys.
Yeah, Burrows lined up at that tailback position. He really became the pusher that time behind Vanderwall. Vanderwall follows the double team. Logan Harris, Keegan Kreider, the center and right guard, and they're just able to push the line of scrimmage.
Is under further review.
They'll take a look at that.
We're going to look at it, because why wouldn't we? Tyler Vanderwall with a touchdown run. We presume, based on that initial look, that those points are going to stand. 11-play drive, 9 run plays. Just power Wyoming football on the first scoring drive of the night.
Yeah, that's their big personnel group. You see his knee does hit the ground about the half-yard, Dave, but the ball had already crossed the plane.
I don't think the knee's down yet. I don't think it's down. I don't think it's hit. It's still off the turf, in my opinion.
Yep, and about right there, right? And he's over.
So the Cowboys have a second quarter lead. Cooper Roth. He was great last year. This year, not only field goal kicking problems, but he's missed 3 of these.
That's It's not the easiest place in the country to kick.
It is not. You get the boost from the altitude. You get the wind and the cold in the outdoors to counterbalance that. Cowboys kick it through, though, and Tyler Vander Waal here in Laramie. He and the Cowboys with a 7-0 lead. Well, the Wyoming Cowboys 6-4. It's been a solid year. What could have been, though, going in perhaps to win the game late against Tulsa. A fumble at the 1 by Sean Chambers. They're a very dynamic athletic quarterback who's out for the year. Chambers threw an interception on the final drive for Wyoming, trying to come up with a road win against one of the powerhouses in this league, San Diego State. Cooper Ross, so reliable ordinarily in overtime, trying to tie the game and keep it going. It wasn't that long of a field goal. He missed it, and then this one last week against Utah State. Tyler Vander Waal, not a good throw, as Wyoming again was on the move. Just a minute to go in that game. 4 losses this year by a combined 15 points. I mean, it is not an exaggeration to say that they could be an undefeated team.
Yeah, pretty remarkable with the 4 losses by such small margins. And you know, that Utah State game, that interception at the end, Dave, just a killer. Really. Irregardless of the Tua Tagovailoa injury, I think Herbert is going to be a spectacular play.
Trying to get around the corner. McElroy could not. He managed to get a yard or so instead of a loss. Marcus McElroy, just a gain of 1 on 2nd down. Well, for the Pac-12, Utah has played really well. Oregon has played really well. If those 2 teams can stay one-loss teams meet in the Pac-12 championship game, you'd have a very strong one-loss team. If that team were Oregon, though, I think some of the nervousness for people out on this side of the country is if Alabama takes it to Auburn, Auburn is the only loss for Oregon. You have a direct head-to-head comparison. Alabama beats Auburn without Tua. What would the committee do? Hard to know. Play fake and finding the tight end up the sideline. McBride, who's become a real nice target for Colorado State, into Wyoming territory, gain of 18.
Well, really nice play call there by Mike Bobo. Trey McBride kind of sneaks across the formation, and he just ends up running an arrow route to the sideline. Patrick O'Brien with a big strong arm, able to rifle it out there. He picks up a nice gain and gets him a 1st down at the 40-yard line.
He can make all the throws. He was recruited by Mike Riley and went to Nebraska, started his college football career there, has ended up in Fort Collins, playing these last few weeks, basically the last month, extensively for the first time. He play faked and kept it. Now, that is not the strength of his game, but he gets 4 yards on 1st down.
Well, I spoke to Patrick O'Brien this week. He told me this journey's been long. He was a highly recruited player when he went to Nebraska, in the Elite 11 finalist. And I'll tell you what, he's not used to this cold. He's a Cali kid. Told me he loved to body surf as a child and does it when he gets back to Cali as well. It's 15 degrees down on the field. And Flem, you're a Cali guy, but difference between you and Patrick O'Brien?
Yeah,
he's not scared of sharks. You are.
Hey, we both are. I am too.
Well, there's also a difference between the ocean and San Juan Capistrano, where Patrick is from, and San Francisco, where I am. More sharks and not as warm up north. Good tackle by the Wyoming defense along the sideline. Dante Wright took the little pitch, the true freshman receiver, and Azizi Hearn was there to make the play.
Yeah, nice play by Hearn on a very fast Dante Wright. So now we dial up 3rd down, 3rd and 6. And you mentioned a moment ago, Dave, that Patrick O'Brien has all the throws. He's very capable. But let's go and find, you know, I think you got to find the big fella once again. Warren Jackson. He's down here at the bottom of the screen.
O'Brien throws instead next to Jackson, the number 2 target these days, Trey McBride, that tight end who's having a great drive, another 17-yard completion. Colorado State, when they've had the ball, they have moved the ball in this 1st half. What do they have to show for it? So far, absolutely nothing.
Well, interesting how O'Brien is seeing the field. We talked to Mike Bobo last night. He said, you know, where Patrick O'Brien can be better is through his progressions, getting through them quick, and just a moment ago, really getting the ball out early.
Number center. Handed to Jalen Thomas. That was defended well. Right there at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Well, Dave, they're kind of, it's kind of the yeoman's work, right? They keep running the ball, and that's just a staple of this offense. They have to show run, and they don't want to just open up the top of this offense and throw it every down. You really have to keep Wyoming's defense honest here.
Second and 10. Solomon Byrd, good player for Wyoming, redshirt freshman. We saw him number 51. He made the tackle. Most of the offense through the air for the Rams in this first half. Just about halfway through the second quarter, O'Brien in the pocket. Throws middle, that's Jackson caught inside the 5, dragging defenders down to the 2. Big Warren Jackson, 6'6", 220. And a power catch and run from Jackson.
Well, Jackson's down here, Dave. He's just going to run right in, and you're going to see a throw that just comes in. And, it's just really kind of a extended slant or a short post. There's a nice window that O'Brien throws into, but just look at how Jackson just maneuvers his man. Tyler Hall gets him to cross his feet and just opens up the passing lane. First down for the Rams.
Jalen Thomas, the tailback. Colorado State trying to tie the game. Thomas gets upended. And Colorado State cannot run the ball right now. Cole Goodbow, the redshirt freshman from Wisconsin, he's used to the cold, made the tackle.
Yeah, low man wins here in the pit, and Goodbow is able to get across, shoot his shoulders across, and hits the running back in the backfield. And I tell you, that is tough running. I think if you're Bobo here, you possibly draw a play action, Dave. They're showing heavy run formation.
They bring Nate Craig Myers, the Auburn transfer, in motion. O'Brien is going to throw the ball. Jackson, catch, touchdown. Give him a chance to make a play. And Warren Jackson does. The Rams are an extra point away from tying this game.
Well, so you have Jackson. You show a heavy run formation. O'Brien really not having to fake run there, but he just has Jackson one-on-one with Hall. And you just see what Jackson's able to do with his body, shielding the defender away, and then O'Brien puts it up, back shoulder, very catchable ball, and a nice finish by number 9.
Extra point up. We don't take those for granted. It is good. So the Rams cap off the drive. 12 plays, 75 yards, penalties, chaos. Jackson was furious. He comes back and does this. The Rams have tied it up 7-7 in Laramie. I think you would probably guess that the Cowboy Country Swing Club is a popular group here on campus in Laramie, Wyoming. Trying to stay warm on a really cold night. Late November, Mountain West football in Laramie. And the border war rivalry. We're setting up to have a good game. It's been a run-oriented game. The clock has been moving. Wyoming will get the ball back here. 3:08 to go in the first half, and it's 1st and 10 Wyoming. I think just as we expected in this rivalry, a tight, hard-fought game, hard hitting, and some tough running from Xavier Valladay. Extra effort for a gain of 12. Valladay's had a nice first half.
Yeah, again, that offensive line going to work, Dave, and you just see the get off of the offensive line. They're across the ball and into the defensive line of the Rams, and they're 2 yards into them when they're making contact. And Logan Harris, number 79, he's like a road grader. I had Quentin Nelson last week with the Indianapolis Colts, and I'll tell you what, he's the closest thing to Quentin Nelson in the Mountain West Conference. He is a guy who's wrestler in high school, drops his hips and gets after it.
High praise. Near midfield, 1st and 10 Cowboys. They fake it to Rocket. Vanderwall now will scramble, and he made, I say Vanderwall, that's not Vanderwall. That's Levi Williams in there again, the true freshman who's getting some select snaps in certain situations.
And I think what was confusing to Levi Williams here is you're working into the short side of the field and everything's condensed, and he saw a lot of white jerseys, and he's like, I'm not going to throw that one in. I'm going to take it and run. And a good decision by the young freshman.
He got 6 yards. So a play that almost looked like a busted play for a moment turns into a positive gain into Colorado State territory. Vanderwall back in. Valladay breaking more tackles. right to that line, and they'll say first down Wyoming.
What Valladay does so well is keeping his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, and he's really a guy who reads his blocks well, really good vision, and he has a low center of gravity, so he stays low and behind those big offensive linemen. I think he's a tough guy to bring down.
We're under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Each team has had the ball 3 times.
Remarkable.
This is sort of classic cold weather football. And Wyoming is in no hurry, which you understand. They want to keep the ball until the very end of the half. Valladay another carry. Cowboys do get the ball to start the second half. But the temperature has fallen. It is 12 degrees with the wind chill factor. It could be windier. Feels like it's a degree. Clear skies. I don't think we're going to get any snow tonight. Play fake. Vanderwall across the middle. And that one could have been caught by Harshman, although Vanderwall, that was his best fastball, and Harshman couldn't handle it. It's third down.
Well, that was his best fastball, and that's when you need to take a little off and throw the changeup, because you're throwing to a tight end and Josh Harshman running the crossing route, and you just don't want to blow up your receiver as he did there. Here's where Wyoming's been really good on third down so far, Dave. 4 of 5 on third down conversion, so they've been able to keep the sticks moving and just retain possession. Let's see what they do here.
This is a big one because you got a minute 21 on the clock. You're not in field goal range yet. Close. Vanderwall from the pocket with time across the middle, and that one is incomplete. He threw it behind his receiver, Dante Crow, who was open. A better delivery. That's a first down.
Yep. They run double slants, and number 81, Trayton Welch, kind of clears it out. There's a nice throwing lane. The ball just behind him. That's probably a ball that Dante Crow could come down with. You see Welch on the inside. He clears it out. There's a nice, really nice throwing lane. And that's just a back pocket type throw.
Yeah, not great throw, but could have been caught.
Yep.
So Wyoming's going to punt the ball away. Try to pin CSU's offense deep. End over end punt with the fair catch signal. Away from the ball, not even close. Wyoming was not fooled. They were actually watching the ball. That is the final play of the first half, and the border war rivalry, nothing has been decided yet. Wyoming and Colorado State are tied 7-7 on a very cold Friday night in Laramie, Wyoming, as the teams will head to the locker room and try to warm up for a few minutes. Get ready for what is sure to be a tough, hard-fought second half. Let's go down to Paul Carcaterra.
Coach, yesterday when we spoke, you said you wanted to dominate the line of scrimmage. How would you describe your run game?
I think we're a little bit of a mixed bag. As the game went along in the second quarter, I thought we did a little bit better. We need to pop a couple runs.
Warren Jackson, their 6'6" receiver. What's the best way to defend him?
Well, we're struggling right now. You know, we're doing a matchup with Tyler Hall, and there's a size difference. We've got to play a little bit better technique, and we need to probably roll some safeties over the top.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
All right, Kark, thank you. 7-7 halftime score, winter time in Laramie. AT&T halftime report after these messages. So we are here tonight on a Friday night in Laramie, Wyoming, the border war rivalry. And yeah, it is chilly. They put a big announcement up on the video board at halftime. Free hot chocolate for anybody who could get there. I hope these folks took advantage of that, especially him. Dave Fleming, Tom Ramsey, Paul Carcaterra here from Laramie, where the Cowboys and the Rams are tied at 7 as we get ready to start the third quarter. It was 15 degrees at kickoff time. The temperature has dropped 11 degrees officially right now, and with the wind it feels like it's 2. That's a degree warmer than it was 20 minutes ago or so. Yeah. Touchback. Wyoming gets the ball to start the second half, and for the second time tonight, all bundled up. Kark after kick.
Well, it's 12 degrees, 7,200 feet in the altitude. I just ran from Coach Bobo to this camera. I'm a little gassed, Dave. In any event, he's thrilled with his defense. He said they have an ability to stop the run, and that's been Wyoming's strength coming into this game. So he feels like there's opportunities offensively to feed Warren Jackson. We saw the touchdown in the first half. He knows there's a mismatch on the outside with 9 White. When they go offensively, they'll feed the 6'6" wide receiver.
All right, so a couple of things we know about Paul Carcaterra with our Kark after kick, first half, second half. He hustles and he's honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you hear me? I'm gassed.
Oh, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think he likes the beach better than the mountains.
Welcome to 7,220 feet, Paul Carcaterra. We are a long way from San Diego State.
I think Carr nailed it, though. You know, the defensive line of Colorado State doing a nice job thus far, and the matchup has been, Patrick O'Brien was spectacular in the first half, going 10-12, but each team put together nice drives and 11 and 13 play scoring drives.
Vander Waal's going to go down. He gets sacked officially, rolling out, looking for somewhere to go with the ball. Loses 2 yards. Manny Jones with the tackle, so it's 3rd down right away for the Cowboys of Wyoming.
Yeah, Manny Jones had himself a good first half too, Dave. He was in on a lot of plays, playing off the edge. They, of course, are missing Bombeck, another defensive end, and Jalen Bates, another defensive end, got called for a targeting in the first half, so he's out, and that just means that Manny Jones, the captain, has to play that many more snaps.
3rd and 12, not the spot where this Wyoming offense usually thrives. Vander Waal from the shotgun, just a 3-man rush. So he's got lots of time, but he has nowhere to go with the ball and ends up being tackled again by Manny Jones. Now there is a penalty flag on the turf, typically in the area where the penalty would be against the offense. We'll see, though.
Holding, offense number 78. That penalty is declined, brings up 4th down.
Great start for the Colorado State defense. Wyoming did not go 3 and out a single time in the first half. The first drive of the 3rd quarter, they do.
And they do rush 3, and number 33 is the spy, Dave, and he ends up just making a nice play from that, let's call it the middle linebacker position. He's normally a rush end, but a nice play by Manny Jones.
So Galovich, the punter, with Dante Wright back to receive. CSU getting the ball right away here in the early 3rd quarter with the fair catch at the 35-yard line. It'll be good field position. Well, this is part of the tradition of this rivalry. This happened on Wednesday night. They start in Fort Collins because the game this year being played in Laramie, and the ROTC group from Colorado State up the long, lonely highway between Fort Collins and Laramie. The 2 head coaches position themselves right at the border between Colorado and Wyoming, the state border. The balls get handed off, and they ultimately end up here.
And Dave, that's Highway 287. There's the bronze boot right there. That's normally a shortcut.
Yeah, it's a beautiful stretch of road, beautiful part of the country, but you're out there. O'Brien throws across the middle, incomplete on 1st down. Intended for McElroy, the CSU running back. Anyway, it's one of the facets of this rivalry that we really find compelling. These 2 schools, the fan bases, they don't really like each other. They're separated by 67 miles. The schools themselves have a lot of respect for one another, and they do all sorts of stuff on the week leading into the game. This is the route that they took between Fort Collins and Laramie. Fort Collins, northern Colorado, Laramie, southern Wyoming. The border war for the bronze boot since 1968. That has been the trophy in this rivalry. O'Brien keeps it and shows off a little speed. Tried to use a stiff arm, goes out of bounds about 2 yards short. Not a running quarterback by trade, but every once in a while he'll help the Rams with his legs. He did there.
Yeah, Blankenbaker, the nickel back, in hot pursuit, and yeah, just enough speed to get to a very manageable 3rd down, 3rd and 2, and you'd expect CSU to keep the ball on the ground here. They've had pretty good success with short 3rd downs, and then going 4 of 7 the first half.
I got the 2 tight ends on the right side of the formation. Wright comes in motion, and O'Brien keeps it. He had nowhere to go. Wyoming stuffed him. They actually gave him forward progress by about a half a yard, which I wasn't even sure he got that. Logan Wilson led the way. It's 4th down.
Logan Wilson, that middle linebacker position, he is a stout dude, Dave, and he just ends up bringing the hammer this time, reads the play. It's read and react from that inside linebacker position. Great eyes by Wilson again, and looks like CSU going forward here on 4th and 1.
Well, I like the boldness. Not quite in midfield on their own side of the field. They have not been effective running the ball at all. Play clock down to 3. O'Brien tries to keep it again, and he did not get there. Man, Elijah Halliburton led the way, the other top tackler for the Wyoming defense. I just do not get that at all.
I don't either. 2
plays in a row with a quarterback who is not known for that. You got a huge wide receiver target. You got some other talented skill guys. I don't get it.
Well, on 3rd down, the defensive line of Wyoming stuffed them. And on 4th down, what do? They stuff them again. Still 7-7 here in Laramie.
A look inside the University of Wyoming Geological Museum with all kinds of fossils and prehistoric stuff. Very cool place here on campus. 7-7, 3rd quarter. Levi Williams is in at quarterback, and he hands the ball off straight ahead to Valladay. Valladay, who's been tough to bring down, gets tackled after a gain of 4 or so. Well, Mike Bobo, the head coach for Colorado State, guy with a great offensive pedigree, great reputation. Mike, who is really, I think, in some ways fighting for his job. He decided to go for it on 4th down. 2 straight quarterback runs. One, the 4th down play, really just a sneak play with Patrick O'Brien. They didn't work, and they give the ball up in their own territory.
Well, when you spin the wheel like he did on 4th and 1, and you come away with nothing, you really put your defense in a bad position.
Valladay straight ahead. Colorado State's defended that better here as the game, I think, has progressed. Just a yard or 2. It's 3rd down Wyoming. Devin Phillips, who committed a big penalty earlier in the game with a nice tackle, and Vanderwall out. He was in for that 2nd down play. So Williams for 1st down, Vanderwall for 2nd down, and now it looks like Levi Williams, the true freshman who had never taken a snap in his Wyoming career until tonight, is back on the field. Interesting on 3rd and 5.
And Dave, what they're able to do here with Levi Williams, he's able to run the ball here effectively on 3rd down.
A big, strong kid. He is going to run a design run play with a blocker ahead, and he will get the 1st down. So Levi Williams with that burst. That was Jeff Burrows, the fullback, who led the way.
Well, he just gets great blocking right at the point of attack. And you see the big tight end, Nate Weinman, out in front with a key block. And that's really good running by the true freshman. And boy, I tell you what, the introduction into Mountain West Conference play, a key game. Levi Williams 4 rushes, 20 yards, having a nice night.
Guy who originally signed his letter of intent with the University of Houston, but then when the Cougars let Major Applewhite go, he and Dana Holgerson had a meeting, decided that wasn't the fit for him. He ended up at Wyoming. Vanderwall back in the game on the move. Vanderwall goes down. Well, they needed the speed of Levi Williams in to avoid the sack. So Jamal Hicks gets in there from his safety spot, and
yeah, Jamal Hicks
loss.
And Jamal Hicks, Dave, comes out of his free safety position, and he's just going to come off the edge again. He just reads and ends up coming free and just chases Vanderwall out of the pocket. And tell you what, credit Vanderwall for not making a mistake there. And he appears to be hurt.
Well, he didn't make a mistake, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
So he is out of the game, and now Levi Williams on 2nd and 18 will come in. He hands the ball off. Straight ahead run for Brett Breton, a nice gain, and with a penalty flag thrown, maybe a face mask at the end of it. Vanderwall is really hurting.
Boy, sure is, and what a week to have your young freshman taking half the reps in practice, and they really don't have anyone.
Face mask, defense number 94, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
It's the 2nd 15-yard penalty against Devin Phillips in this game. That turns into a big overall gain. Easy call with the face mask.
Yeah, another mental error there. Just really not a good play by Phillips. And you see Vanderwall limping off. And I was going to say a moment ago, they don't have anyone behind Levi Williams because Sean Chambers was hurt a couple weeks ago. He's out for the season. So really, Levi Williams, you got to be careful how much you decide to run him the remainder of this game.
Yeah, I mean, they say they don't have another quarterback. Whether that's really true or not, they hope not to have to find out. Valladay, good cut, avoided the first tackler for the Rams, got a couple yards. I hesitated on that injury because Vanderwall, the starting quarterback, when his jersey on the front gets bunched up, he looks like number 10. It looks like a different guy.
I know.
So it was Vanderwall who came off the field. He is in the injury tent and really was not in good shape. So Levi Williams from Canyon Lake, Texas, just outside San Antonio. Very accomplished high school quarterback. Good player there. Getting his first game action of his career here tonight in a big hole up the middle. Valladay. The umpire goes down. It'll be first and goal Cowboys. 12-yard gain.
Well, we talked about Logan Harris beginning of the game, and watch this big guard come up, and he ends up getting a really nice block on the next level, Dave. And again, Valladay just follows his big right guard, 79, who's just, I mean, guy's a bulldozer.
A good call. Yeah. He destroyed that Colorado State defensive lineman. So it's first and goal. They'll bring Harshman, the tight end, kind of into the backfield. Not quite a wishbone, but unusual formation. Handoff Valladay. He'll get stopped. Got a yard or so. Not great news for Wyoming. Already down one starting quarterback, Sean Chambers, for the rest of the year. Tyler Vanderwall is out and on the cart and obviously in a lot of pain. That is anguish.
Yeah, really tough for that young man, Tyler Vanderwall, out of Elk Grove, California, out by Sacramento. His folks drove out 16 hours for this game to watch him play. I'm sure they'll connect with him shortly.
Almost looked like an ankle, lower leg injury, something like that. Second and goal. Williams keeps. Levi Williams driving forward, gets to the one. Well, they told us when they mentioned that, hey, Levi Williams is probably going to get a chance to play in this game. He's big and strong and powerful.
Yeah, young man.
Just a true freshman.
Out of San Antonio, and he rushed his senior year over 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns on the ground, and that went with 3,200 yards in the air and 32 touchdowns. And he was playing in the 6A division of Texas, so it was the highest you can get there.
Third and goal. Valladay in the backfield. Williams surges into the end zone for his first career touchdown. They're jumping up and down in Canyon Lake. Levi Williams with his first touchdown rush of his college career to put Wyoming ahead.
Well, you mentioned it a moment ago, Dave. He had signed a letter of intent at Houston, and when Major Applewhite was let go, Craig Bohl called him up and said, hey, Major, you know quarterbacks. Who are you? Who are you recruiting? He said, hey, we had signed a guy, Levi Williams, and Craig Bohl ended up making the introductions, and tell you what, Levi Williams is no dummy. He knows who Craig Bohl's coached.
Extra point up and good. You know, as it turned out, Craig Bohl was in San Antonio for a coaches convention. He went over and saw him, and the rest is now Wyoming history. Well, back in I love those Colorado State uniforms, by the way. We need to see those again.
Yeah.
The uniforms have gotten a little more modern as the years have gone by. The face masks maybe have too.
That's the Kelly Stauffer Deluxe right there.
It is, no kidding.
Yeah.
A border war rivalry that's been played 111 times, dating back to 1899. Wyoming with the touchdown rush. Take a 7-point lead about halfway through the third quarter. Kick return for the Rams. Almost a chance for a big one, but not quite, as it gets colder and colder. It's down to 10 degrees, wind chill 0. You can kind of see on the turf here in Laramie, there is a layer of frost, and it's legit. I'm sure the field feels hard, but I don't know, maybe at some point it could also get slick. Well, Mike Bobo, lots of college football fans know all about Mike from his career as a player first at the University of Georgia, then a long-time assistant coach, offensive coordinator, QB coach, and a really effective one for a lot of years. Named the head coach in Fort Collins in December of 2014. He had 7 win seasons each of his first 3 years. Each time was 7-6. Last 2 7 wins total, 15 losses. And I think the thing that maybe for Rams fans is most damning is that right there. Rivalry games for Colorado State, Air Force, Colorado, and Wyoming. 11 consecutive losses. I mean, it's hard to overstate, just for their fans, for their program, how big a win for Colorado State tonight against their rival Wyoming would be.
Well, and Dave, when you lose to your rivals, you pretty much lose in the recruiting battles when you go head to head. And you know, players want to play for winning programs without question. And I'll tell you what, one thing Mike Bobo has done, he's recruited in some of his old home state areas down in Georgia, down in Florida. And, you know, he's gotten some awfully good players, but it's an awfully long way to go to Fort Collins.
Ryan with the play fake in the pocket, throws across the middle. Nice pass and the catch for a Colorado State first down. Outside the 35, out to the 40 for 15 yards. Dante Wright.
Well, Dante Wright is an explosive player. He has several 100-yard games on the season receiving. I love that Patrick O'Brien hangs in the pocket, eyes downfield, never wavered, not one time, and Wright takes a lick. But the Rams have a first down.
He's the perfect example of what you're talking about. He's from the state of Florida. True freshman. Came out to Fort Collins. He's had a good first year. Right around a minute to go. Some pressure for Wyoming. O'Brien now in scramble mode. He'll go out of bounds after gaining maybe 3 yards. To the 2nd and 6. O'Brien, another play fake over the top to the tight end. What a pass and catch, and now run. McBride inside the 20 for the Rams. A big play of 37 yards. He is having a heck of a game. Now there's a penalty flag all the way back near the line of scrimmage. So we'll wait and see. In fact, there are two flags.
Trey McBride's going to run the seam. And I'll tell you what, Patrick O'Brien does a great job. Hayden kind of ducks down a little bit. Really nice throw in between defenders, and really a nice catch by McBride. Right down the road.
An eligible player downfield.
Wow.
Offense number 64. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
What a killer for Colorado State. And Scott Brooks is saying, me?
I'm not sure how your center goes downfield. Let's see if we can see it here.
That does not happen very often.
Scott Brooks right in the middle of your screen. He just comes off and he goes past that. He sure does.
He went
he
way
is downfield, way downfield.
So the Rams can't complain about that call.
Nope.
Maybe Brooks thought the ball was handed off. I don't know, but that is a huge penalty, not just for the yardage, but negating a 37-yard play. They were going to be inside the Wyoming 20.
Yeah, really nice play design, and it froze the linebackers. And see if they come back to that later in the game. But right now, 18 seconds remain in this third quarter.
That's more than 40 yards of field position on that penalty. The throw, go right back to the tight end for the catch, short of the first down. I like this guy, Trey McBride. He is a sophomore from Fort Morgan, Colorado. He's a good player.
He's a really nice player. Yep.
They're going to lean on him. Warren Jackson, their skill guys on offense. If they're going to break a long rivalry losing streak, we go to the fourth quarter. Cowboys by 7. Well, normally sleepy downtown Laramie, Wyoming. Night before a home football game, not so sleepy. That is the famous library here in town. And we happen to be there. We tried to circle Clark. He was doing some orchestrating of the Wyoming pep band. They do like a crawl, like a pub crawl, but instead of trying a beverage at each spot, they play the fight song at every spot. And it is a very cool college town tradition. And we just happened to be having some dinner last night when the band rolled in. On third down, a running play. Jalen Thomas straight ahead, and he gets the Colorado State first down. I think yes, it is a 1st and 10 Rams.
This is not the week that you want to be injured. 12 degrees. Look at the trainer's table here. This happens to be Tyler Vanderwall's backside. So he heated the table up, but the logo's still intact. 12 degrees, gentlemen. Ouch.
That's the hard-hitting reporting that Paul Carcaterra brings to Friday Night College Football. That is a very cool visual. And he's not kidding. Not the week to have to sit down there.
Well, the Rams finally convert a 3rd and short, too.
Finally. And then what do? To celebrate, they go backwards. Maybe with some nice extra effort there. Christian Hunter, another true freshman running back. They got a lot of those. Managed to get back to the line of scrimmage. I think his quarterback was thinking he did not take the right angle to start that play.
Yeah, Hunter, true freshman, as you mentioned, out of Fontana, California. And total rush yards for the Rams tonight, 36.
Not a lot. Meanwhile, Wyoming has rushed for 121 yards themselves. 2nd and 9. O'Brien incomplete. Intended for right. 3rd down.
Patrick O'Brien, 14 of 19 on the night, 173, 1 touchdown. And I'd say this 3rd down, Dave, is awfully important because, number one, you're at midfield. You'd like to believe you're going to go to number 9, Warren Jackson. He's going to be on the near sideline, and he's going to be singled up.
Why wouldn't you go to him? 3rd and 9. O'Brien's not looking in that direction. He's going the other way with nobody out there except for a Wyoming defender. Now there is a penalty flag. There was some contact. The interception was not made. Hearn had a chance to come up with it, couldn't. So we'll see who the penalty is against.
Yeah, he never even looked remotely close to Warren Jackson's way, and he was singled up. We both saw that, and boy, big 3rd down there.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 18. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic 1st down.
Obviously a big one that converts a 1st down for Colorado State. Just back to your point, Mike Bobo came out of the locker room at halftime and told Kark that he wanted to force the ball to Warren Jackson. They have not been doing that.
Yeah, Blankenbarger is in, well, right at that 40-yard line. He ends up kind of grabbing the receiver as he runs by. Flag comes out. Good call by the refs. 1st down, Rams.
Straight ahead run, and by the standards of Colorado State's run game tonight, that's a very good run. Marcus McElroy got about 8.
McElroy out of Mullen High down in South Denver, and again he stepped up nicely when Marvin Kinsey was dismissed from the team.
Not McElroy, like our friend Greg McElroy.
That's right.
Marcus McElroy. 2 different ways to say that last name.
You know, Gregory's probably going to change it up now.
2nd and 2. O'Brien over the top, trying to get it to Jackson. He couldn't come up with it. Incomplete. Tyler Hall with the coverage. 3rd and 2.
And I like the target going to Jackson's way right there. He's had a nice game so far. 5 catches, 74 yards. That's the 7th target his way. You see him man on man with Tyler Hall, and he has him beat there. Just missed time. Yeah, missed time to jump.
Well, they need to target him more often. 7 is not enough, particularly considering how successful he was in the 1st half. He has the 1 catch. In the 2nd half, it's 3rd and 2. Dante Wright in motion. O'Brien's going to throw. That's Jackson out there, and he missed him. Incomplete. Jackson was open, I thought.
Yeah, he was. He was. That ball sailed on Patrick O'Brien, too. He just didn't step into the throw, Dave, and that's one thing Mike Bobo has said. Fundamentals, and you see he ran a little smash route to the far side. He's got a corner route with a flat underneath it. He just flat out missed him.
Now, I am surprised by this. Braxton Davis is on the field. They're going to try a 50-yard field goal as opposed to going for it on 4th and 2. On a really cold night. Good hole. That kick not close. Not anywhere in the neighborhood. Now, that's the second one of those decisions I just can't believe for the Rams here in this 2nd half. So Wyoming's defense holds. Cowboys still lead by 7. Well, 56 years ago was one of the darkest days in our country's history. This is today the anniversary of the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Just 2 months prior, he was here in Laramie. The president visited the University of Wyoming, made a speech inside the War Memorial Fieldhouse, which is just behind where we stand. It now serves as a track facility. It was packed. They were hanging from the rafters that day, September 25th, 1963. President Kennedy on the campus of the University of Wyoming. Tyler Vanderwall, by the way, is back in the game at quarterback for the Cowboys. 12:32 to go, fourth quarter rivalry game. And Vanderwall is now not in the game on second down. They've been doing a lot of this. Levi Williams comes back in.
Well, the fact he's back in the game and taking a snap was awfully good news, because he did get carted off earlier. And well, the young freshman getting some good time. Levi Williams.
Craig Bohl does not want to see a 3-and-out here. He wants at least for some time to come off that clock. That was a really impressive run, I thought. Valladay gets there for the first down. He waited and then kind of burst through the hole as soon as there was a little seam. That was well done.
Yeah, what Wyoming does so well, Dave, they get great double teams and then they're able to come off and go to the next level. And so just a little scrape and great push. And I tell you what, Wyoming's doing a good job at the line of scrimmage.
And by the way, I misspoke. He did not get a first down. They spotted him about a half a yard, maybe not even that, short. Is that Levi Williams, who's come back in the game? He's in the shotgun on 3rd and 1. He's going to keep it. Williams straight ahead for the Wyoming first down. The true freshman, playing for the first time tonight, has made some big plays.
Yeah, and that's a tough one to account for. You got to keep track of 15, and he has really done a nice job for a true freshman. Now, not a huge average, but meaningful yards and key third downs.
And very quick to get the jacket back on as soon as he goes to the sideline. He's a smart kid. In this half, they've thrown the ball, Wyoming has, 2 times. Isn't it interesting? They go under center for this first down play on 3rd and 1. They did not. Vanderwall with the play fake, and he throws one. He put so much on all those throws. He took another hit, incomplete.
Yeah, Wyoming going big personnel. They go 22, so they have 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. We're going to see Levi Williams again, but when they load up in those heavy formations, Dave, every indication shows run. They do a nice job with play action, scooting them out, but nowhere to throw.
I think if you're throwing late in a game on first down with the lead at home, you're thinking this has to be an 80% completion kind of play. And it was incomplete. It stopped the clock. So Williams back in, hands the ball off. No, he faked it. Levi Williams tried to use that stiff arm. It was sort of effective. Trying Folsom, the linebacker, ended up getting him to the turf. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, nice play by Folsom on the edge. And again, you're going to have, and I agree with you, by the way, you would think that last play call was a for sure kind of thing, because now you're 3rd and 7. You're essentially behind the sticks, and you have to make a play now.
Well, Craig Bohl, 6th-year head coach after all that success at North Dakota State. Seems like the perfect fit for him here in Laramie. And he's leaning on a true freshman. Levi Williams stays in this game. 6.5 minutes to go. Play fake. Williams throws over the middle. He's got his man caught. First down, Austin Conway. He hung in there, Williams did. He took a big hit, and now he's hurting. Right to his gut, maybe knocked the wind out of him.
Injury timeout.
Well, that is some courage from a true freshman who has completed now 2 passes in his college career for 18 yards in the Wyoming first down.
Yeah, Levi Williams hung in till the very last second, Dave. You said it. He hung tight and takes a shot. Manny Jones there, Damian Dickens there.
The result of the play is a first down. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 33 of the offense. 15-yard penalty. That'll be first down, Wyoming.
Also, they tag Manny Jones. It appears he got away with maybe a.
They called it on Wyoming. The penalty was.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. After the play was over, so the first down counts. Williams gets up, and it looks like now he's all right. That was a little scary for a moment.
I did see the referee point towards Wyoming. I thought he had it wrong for a minute, but they called it on Josh Harshman.
Yeah, the tight end Harshman.
Yeah.
So they end up netting 3 yards, but they get the first down conversion on the left side, sort of at the bottom of the screen. I guess the play was over.
Yep.
And he put the hit on.
Yeah, player safety at the forefront of college football. And that's just a, in the old days they call it a cheap shot. Today they just say penalty.
So Vanderwall back in. This is the 7th personal foul penalty called in this game. There goes Valladay down the left sideline for the big gain for the Cowboys. So they get that penalty yardage back and then some. 23-yard carry.
Boy, Valladay so good following his blockers. They end up pulling power G there and just, well, I tell you what, the offensive line, and Colorado State knew this coming in. They knew Wyoming's offensive line has an advantage. They're just so good at the combo blocking, and again, great execution.
He's a good running back, this sophomore from Madison, Illinois. Valladay's got 137 yards on the ground tonight. And now down to the 20. Cowboys hand it off. Valladay could not get away that time. There is Daquan Jackson, the sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida. Loss of 3.
Yeah, Valladay too, Dave, for a guy who didn't practice Monday and Tuesday. His first practice this week was Wednesday. He was gimping around with a knee brace, and tell you what, he really showed toughness tonight, coming out here and delivering.
We really were not sure he was going to play. Short week, you lose an extra day to rest and recover. Levi Williams is okay. He's back in the game, the true freshman. 2nd and 13. Williams design quarterback run to the middle of the field, tackled at the 20.
As they approach the 20-yard line, just what the doctor ordered, Levi Williams, who's so efficient in the run game for Wyoming, he's been in and out. Trainers were checking his midsection. They put a jacket on him. He wanted no part of it. He wanted to be back in this game. This freshman is tough as nails.
He'll come out for this play, get that jacket back on. Now you're in the part of the field here. They have a kicker who's not had a great year, Cooper Roth, but they do trust him. That clock continues to wind, almost a 5-minute drive here. With a touchdown lead, 3 points would be big. Fake on the sort of jet sweep action, and that can't happen for Wyoming. Vanderwall's not supposed to take the sack, and he goes down. That pushes them maybe outside of field goal range, at least close. Greg Bull is not happy. That's a 10-yard loss.
Yep, the one thing you can ill afford is a sack in that case, and it really takes you completely out of field goal position. Ellison Hubbard, the veteran defensive tackle, just coming in, beating his man, and making the sack on Vanderwall.
They're going to try. It's the 5th sack for Colorado State's defense. This would be 48 yards in the cold for Cooper Roth. Chance for a little redemption for him. Has been a tough year. High snap, good hold, kick on the way, and it is good. How about that? And that feels good for a guy who's had a miserable season.
That's awfully impressive, and Cooper Roth delivers, and that's a big kick.
48 yards on a frigid night in Laramie, Wyoming. And he kicked it right down the middle. An 11-play drive pads the lead for the Cowboys. Wyoming's up 17-7. Well, I wouldn't be doing that, but some of these Wyoming fans are a little tougher than I am. 10-point lead for the Cowboys, 3:33 to go in this rivalry game. After the 48-yard field goal, the Rams with the fair catch. And that has taken the Rams' chances of ending that losing streak in rivalry games down quite a bit. The throw to the tight end Trey McBride, who's had a nice game, right to the first down mark. They get the spot. It's a gain of 11. And after stopping the clock very briefly, now it starts to roll again. Colorado State's got to hurry.
Yeah, and they're starting to get over the ball now and snap it as quick as possible.
O'Brien going deep down the middle. It's going to be intercepted. Intercepted. And that's Logan Wilson. How about that for a capper to one of the great Wyoming careers in their football history? It's his senior night, and he's the guy that comes up with the pick that essentially will finish this game off.
Yeah, and they're just trying to get too much out of the play here. Patrick O'Brien, take a look. You got Wilson in the center. He's going to drop back in the middle, Dave. And, you know, he has such good ball skills. And, again, see how deep he is. And, you know, again, the next level, linebackers are required to go down the field and cover guys. They're trying to get the ball to McBride, and Logan Wilson again. How appropriate on senior night, coming away with the play of the game for their defense.
4th interception of the season to go along with all the tackles, the leadership, everything else. An all-time great Cowboys football player. Wyoming gets the ball right back. They'll be handing the ball off here and trying to finish this game off. A quarterback carry. Timeout for the Rams. Logan Wilson, who is a senior from the state of Wyoming. His teammates, Tom, call him the governor. He cares so much about this state and this football program.
Well, and again, just a great leader. Just, you know, guy, not a big words guy. I just think he's all about actions and carries himself so well on the field. And Dave, anytime you're a 3-time captain in a program, it's remarkable how respected he is as a player, as a friend, as a student. Just a remarkable athlete.
And the transformation for Logan Wilson, remember, you're looking at guys 250 pounds playing middle linebacker at a really high level, Butkus Award semifinalist. He was a cornerback, defensive back in the state of Wyoming in high school not that long ago. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he always hit like a linebacker. Craig Bohl said when he went and saw him play in high school from his cornerback position, I guess he just uncorked on someone. And they said, yeah, he can play for us.
2nd and 8 after the Rams use their timeout. A little stretch play for Conway, who's going to slide to make sure he doesn't go out of bounds. That was a smart play. Craig Bohl told us yesterday that guy right there is the best of all of them.
Yeah, Carl Granderson playing with the Saints, Marcus Epps playing with the Eagles, and of course Andrew Wingard playing a lot of special teams for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But you know, when that's a high compliment. You know, and Logan Wilson has a very bright future, and you know, this defense is built around him. I mean, they want to funnel all the plays into that linebacker group. Logan Wilson and of course Cash Malawia, his cohort in crime, sitting right next to him on the heated bench.
Exactly where I would be. 3rd and 3. Levi Williams, the true freshman quarterback who's played a big part in this one, hands the ball off, and that'll just about do it. 1st down, Wyoming. Colorado State's already used 2 of their timeouts. Now Valladay essentially puts this game on ice. It's been on ice since kickoff. It was 12 degrees at kickoff. So the bronze boot is, in all likelihood, barring just a total disaster, going to stay here in Laramie. I think it's one of the great rivalry trophies in all of college football. This will be the 4th straight bronze boot win for Wyoming. 1968, an actual boot worn by an important member of the Fort Collins community who served in the U.S. military in Vietnam. And the boot was bronze, and that became the rivalry trophy, so it's got a great story to it. And there it is, being guarded heavily. When this game comes to an end, one of the cool scenes when this rivalry game ends, the players all on the winning side sprint to grab that bronze boot.
They race for it. It is really a sight to see. And I'll tell you what, right now the sight to see, and Colorado State's defense doesn't want to see it. It's that Wyoming offensive line that continues just to pound away and just create running lanes for Valladay.
Almost 200 yards rushing for Wyoming in this one. Colorado State will use its final timeout now. They played hard tonight. Colorado State did. They did some good things. But just the 7 points on the board. They're down to 3. Williams, keeper, spins away. Hang on to the football. He did. And he will be stopped well short of the 1st down. So it's 4th down. Wyoming's going to take this clock all the way down as far as they can. Probably take the timeout, decide what they want to do on 4th and 2. They're going to go for it. Well, we'll see. looking like they necessarily have decided to use that timeout. Craig Bowl has built this program up to the point where Wyoming feels like it's going to be a winner for a long time to come. This will be their 7th victory of the year. The keeper, and that's a first down. Levi Williams still going inside the 10, the true freshman breaking out of the Border War game. 19 yards to put it away.
That's a nice run. You and I were digging and trying to find Levi Williams highlights. We had to go to YouTube, and in high school, he was dragging 5 guys along the way. That time, dragging 1 Colorado State Ram, but just a huge play by the young freshman.
Almost had a Joe Burrow moment, which on a night like tonight is a little colder than it was for the LSU Tigers. No problem for Levi, who now will have the honors of going into victory formation. He and his Cowboys. Vanderwall takes the knee, and look at them sprint. You know exactly where they're going. Before the final seconds tick off the clock on senior night, the Bronze Boot will stay here in Laramie.
Well, Logan Wilson had a big game. Xavier Valladay over 150 yards rushing, and tell you what, Dave, they just pounded it. It was ground control by Wyoming, and they kept ownership of the scoreboard.
7th win of the year for the Cowboys of Wyoming, and down on the field with the head coach of the Cowboys, Paul Carcaterra.
Coach, you held them scoreless in that second half. What was the difference defensively?
Yeah, we did a great job switching up some things with some zone and put some people over the top. We got some good pass rush and negated their run.
Your run was on fire. Xavier Valladay coming into the game. Yesterday, you mentioned he had that sprained knee, over 150 yards on the ground. Describe his performance.
Well, he's been a gutsy guy, and it's got better and better, and that knee was hurting him. And, you know, it took all the way up until Friday afternoon to really know he was going to go.
You're 4-0 now, your seniors with the boot. They're celebrating.
You know, this is a great rivalry. We've got great respect for Colorado State, but for us to come up with the boot 4 years in a row, can't say enough about the program.
What did it mean to you when Logan Wilson made that final interception? What he's meant to this program?
He's been great. You know, he's a Wyoming guy, and coming up with the interception. They kept coming up with the pass. Sooner or later, we're going to come up with a pick.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, thanks to Kark and to Craig Bowl. Good sportsmanship between the players. Now the celebration here in Laramie. Tom Ramsey, great to have you with us these last couple of weeks. For Tom, for Paul Carcaterra, for Scott Matthews and Anthony DeMarco, Dave Fleming saying so long on a cold night in Wyoming. The Cowboys with a 17-7 victory in the Border War.